Week 14, the Indianapolis Colts head into their much-needed bye week, and we're here to talk about all things Indianapolis Colts, what went on throughout the season, what we enjoyed, mid-season MVPs. We'll talk about realistic outputs for the next couple of games. I'm here, one of your co-hosts, Ati Logan, joined by my co-host, Pro Fan Logan, baby. Logan, you shared with me this stat. Most podcast episodes, or most podcasters, only last till episode 10. This is, like I mentioned, episode 10, and we can promise you, Colts fan, we're going to be around for a while. We're going to be around for a while.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah, couldn't be more happy with how the podcast has been received so far by Colts Nation. Thanks so much for everybody for tuning in to every episode
platforms.
or liking any of our clips or anything, following us. We really appreciate it. And at the end of the day, the reason we started this thing is because we want to talk as much Colts football as humanly possible with as many Colts fans as humanly possible. So
we know y'all
if
like
we
to
can keep
consume
doing
it like
that
we
and
do.
keep growing it, then exactly.
100%.
Yeah. And we do it anyways. So we want
We do it
to
anyways.
grow the community as big as possible.
This shit's fun. We do this for free, by the way, and it's fun. We enjoy this shit. Let's kind of get right into it. Logan, slower week. It's bye week. Honestly, much needed. The Cardiac Colts have put us through a lot over the last couple of weeks, from AR's benching to Joe Flacco to ups and downs to AR playing really well to the Patriots game. Like, we just needed, as fans, just a relaxing week. So let's dig right into it. Mid-season, what have we liked so far? I think let's talk about what have we liked so far. Have the Colts reached the expectations we expected them to? Are they below? Have they exceeded? Where does that sit from your perspective?
Yeah. Well, crazy enough, our bye week is so late this year, right? In week 14, which is insane that the NFL allows week 14 bye weeks, by the way. But that's a story for another day. I can't even really call it, I guess, mid-season. It's almost late season.
Right.
You know how I feel about the team, right? Because it's so late. But I would say overall, if I had to give a sentiment, unfortunately, I would probably lean on the side of disappointed as a whole with this Colts team, just looking at where the record is at right now. I had a lot of high hopes for the combination of Jonathan Taylor and AR coming back healthy, right, in preseason. I know we all were chomping at the bit about that, and I was really hoping that the defense would step up a little bit more and some guys would step into their roles a little bit more. Like, Juju Brents, it was so unfortunate having him go down so early in the season. And I would have liked to see a little bit more out of Ati Logan as well. He's been a little quiet. Now, he has been getting pressure on the quarterback, but he hasn't really been translating that to sacks. So overall, I thought this team could compete for a division title. I know they're technically not out of it yet, but it's looking like it's very
possible.
Very, very grim chances.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you to an extent on that. I think this season has been really weird. Like, it's just been an odd season. I think it's there's a lot of factors that kind of skewed how I felt, because I was similar to you. Like, I had high expectations. I was just like, Anthony Richardson, he's a rookie. Essentially, didn't play all of last year because of an injury. I understand I should take my expectations a little bit back, but I thought AR, based on the small sample size we saw, we could be excited about this season. Like, we could compete for a division. I had us winning the division. I don't know if it's Colts bias or not. But there's a lot of factors that kind of skewed into that. One, it was the amount of injuries. Like, Samson Ebukam, before the season even started. D. Buck for 4 games was out. Jonathan Taylor was out for a few games. Anthony Richardson was injured for a while, missed 2 or 3 games where Joe Flacco came in pre-benching. Juju Brents, as an example. Ryan Kelly put on IR. 2 or 3 O-linemen put on IR. Like, there's just a lot of skewed outliers shit that happened this season where it's hard for me to judge. And the biggest thing being AR getting benched, right? We missed him for 2 games. Who knows what that would have looked like, right, in that sense. And, AR also getting injured, missing the Jacksonville game, missing more than half of the Steelers game. And there was another game in there that he missed too. Like, what could this record been? Obviously, we have that curse in Jacksonville. I don't know if he would have won that. It was pretty damn close, though. But you kind of, let's say you count that as a win. Let's say you miraculously, I think we could have beat the Bills or the Vikings potentially with AR, maybe. Maybe too many high expectations, but this season could look a lot like, 7-6 versus 6-7, and we're kind of in the driver's seat, kind of not, maybe a game behind. So it's hard for me to kind of put a letter grade. I'd say it's like a B minus for me because of all those outliers. I still feel excited with AR's growth. I was one to say AR should never have been benched. I've kind of changed my mindset on that, where I'm just like, Steichen, if he was the decision maker here, I kind of liked it because I kind of liked what came out of it because AR's been playing pretty well over the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if it was the benching. He just needed to take a step back and relax, just like Bryce Young did. And Bryce Young, he's playing phenomenal ball now too. There's a lot of outside things where I just don't know. Like, it's been such a weird season, and everyone has injuries, but I feel like not everyone has these like benching things that happen and things that Colts Nation can only kind of witness and feel because it only happens to the Indianapolis Colts, So I'd say like B minus because I don't know.
Yeah, I trend probably around, if I had to do letter grade, I'd probably C plus and trending more towards B minus, just because the last couple of weeks have given me hope again that the Colts might have their franchise quarterback, right? So that's obviously a very good thing that's happened the past 3 weeks here. So I would say the letter grade is trending higher. I'm very intrigued to see how the Colts finish the rest of the season. I really hope that they finish strong, at least go 9-8. If they really falter here at the end, I mean, we could be talking about a potential D plus D type situation. If the defense continues trending down. I hope not.
That's true.
But yeah, overall, definitely very encouraged by Anthony Richardson's growth as of late. So that's good. That's helping the grade go up.
Did you see on the Trenches show? Zaire Franklin said that AR was is the best player on the team. Like, he said, if I would have told you that a month ago, y'all would have freaked out. But he is the best player on our team, and it's kind of cool to see. Young buck coming out after being benched for 2 games, coming out playing like he did, as he has been for the past 3 games. You're right. It's what we've been seeing out of Anthony Richardson has been pretty exciting.
And that's what's encouraging is if you look across the league, like we talked about last episode, your quarterback has to be the best player on your team for you to be a championship contender, for you to win your division, right? For you to go far in the playoffs. In the NFL, how things work is your quarterback has to be your best player. If your quarterback's not your best player, you're most likely a fringe playoff team, or you're most likely a team that's on the outside looking in, right? That's just how it goes. You've got teams that have their guy, and then you've got 20 or 22 other franchises that are looking for their guy at any given time. So that's definitely encouraging, because if Anthony Richardson becomes our best player moving forward, then that means the Colts have a chance. They can make some noise, right? Actually start competing for the AFC South, actually do something that Ballard hasn't done in his entire tenure, which is win a divisional championship, for Pete's sakes.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely an encouraging sign, and I'm glad that he has the support of some of the other leaders in the locker room. That's big time. And we're talking about the Colts season could have been legitimate disaster. We were on the edge of a disaster ending to the season. And thank goodness, for whatever reason, Joe Flacco played terrible, and we got to see Anthony Richardson mature a little bit. But we could be singing a different tune right now. So I'm very grateful for that, personally.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Kind of using that, right? And we talked about Anthony Richardson. Everyone's saying the Young Bucks the best player on our team off of last 3 weeks. Let's talk about mid-season MVPs. We'll kind of break it down in offense and defense. You want me to start and just kind of share on the offense side of the ball and defense side of the ball, and then take it to you?
Yeah, go. Okay. Give me your offense and your defense, and then I'll go my offense and defense. Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. So offensive side of the ball, I don't know. You might have the same offensive player as I do. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say Josh Downs. Yeah, I'm going to say Josh Downs.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I just love the way he's playing. He is just
Love
a
that.
go-to
Yeah.
guy, just a consistent guy. Whether he's coming out of slot, whether he's playing out wide, like AR knows he's my safety net. You know how like a lot of players they have like a tight end that's just like this is my safety net. Travis Kelsey, Jonnu Smith apparently for Tua this year. Like they just have like the guy to go to. We don't have that unfortunately, and we'll talk about that. But like we don't have that in regards to tight end, but we have a guy in regards to
Mm-hmm.
our wide receiver, and that's Josh Downs, second-year wide receiver out of UNC. He's just playing phenomenal ball. Like I said, go-to guy, Mr. Consistent. If you look at the stats, like he is playing like a top 10 wide receiver in the league when it comes to separation, yards per play, yards after catch, things of that nature, catch percentage. Like he is a top 10 wide receiver in the league and a top slot wide receiver in the league, which is just cool to see. Like we have a young stud there who I think Pitt, you're awesome, dude. Like your blocking last game was amazing. You catch contested catches. You're fucking phenomenal what you do. But I think the Colts have a true young wide receiver one in Josh Downs, and I'm excited to see that growth and that connection with AR and JD continue to grow. On the defensive side of the ball, this was tough for me because I like a lot of people. I like a lot of the guys. I think I'm going to group the defensive MVPs into two different categories. I'm going to say one, the defensive line when Buckner's healthy, because we saw when Buckner was not there, they had like 2-game stretch where they had 0 sacks. They got like no pressures whatsoever. But that defensive line, like they're balling out. Respectfully, they're playing some really good ball. We got Grove playing really good ball. D-Buck playing one of the best balls of his life, and he's 31 years old. Kwity Paye, like he's stayed relatively healthy in fifth year. Like he's been balling out. He's been playing really well. And Laiatu, I promise, man, your sacks are coming. You are playing phenomenal football. Every analyst, every defensive coordinator, every defensive line coach is seeing like this guy is going to be someone special. Every stat is sharing that from pressures. The sacks are going to come. You're going to make an impact every single time. Like you notice, like 2 or 3 times a game, he'll be like 0.5 seconds away from another strip sack or another sack. And I'm just like, you're so close. You're so close. You're going to get there. So the D-line has been balling out. Secondly, I kind of – it's kind of weird for me to say because I'm going to sound like Chris Ballard, even though he needs to go. But we like our guys on the DB side of the equation. Like they're balling out. They're balling out. The DBs are balling out. Jalen Jones, former 7th-round pick. Like you're an absolute stud. I think we have a true true DB, lockdown DB there. Obviously, he's going to have his second-year mistakes, give up some yardages, but like he's leading. He's top 10 in pass breakups. Just a phenomenal DB. And then Samuel Womack picked him off the streets, off the waivers, or from San Francisco. Like he's been balling out too, in with Juju Brent's missing. And then third, Nick Cross, baller, dude. He's 23 years old and he's playing like a top 5 safety in the league. I think he's ranked, or he's in Pro Bowl consideration right now. Fan votes came out and he's top 10. Yeah. I forgot where he's sitting at, as a top 5 or something like that. But he's just balling out. He is balling out,
after
especially
being benched
a run stopper
too.
Yes, after being benched
People
last year.
forget that he was benched last year, which is crazy. I mean, kind of similar to the AR route, right? I mean, you get benched and you come back stronger than ever. So, yeah, props to Nick Cross. That's awesome.
One of the better like run safeties in the league, run stopping safeties in the league. Like he's just playing an elite level, and to think this guy is 23 years old. Like our whole secondary is really young, but Nick Cross, man, you're balling. I appreciate what you do, man. You're playing the right position now, and those are my offensive. I know defensive is a little weird because there's a lot of people that I like. There's a core group that I like in the defensive end, and then I kind of like our guys in the secondary, even though I didn't think I was gonna. But I mean, they're balling out, so I had to kind of give it to all of them, all those guys. What about you?
They're balling out, but they definitely still need some help in key areas for sure, as we saw last week.
Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
for sure, yeah. We need somebody to use them correctly. Okay.
New scheme. Yeah.
I would say on offense, it's funny that you went Josh Downs, because I'm gonna go with another wide receiver, actually. I'm gonna go with Alec Pierce.
Baller. I love that.
Here's why. I think he made a big step this year. He made that step that I think the Colts were looking for him to make, right? He went from kind of a guy that just every once in a while is going to snag a ball to AR is going to him multiple times a game. Even Flacco went to him when Flacco stepped in for these deep balls, these deep routes, vertical passing down the field, 25, 30, 40, 50-yard chunk plays. That's what the Colts offense was missing a little bit, actually, with Gardner Minshew. They didn't really throw the ball too much downfield. It was a lot of, dink and dunk type stuff all the way down the field. And Alec Pierce, man, it seems like every time there's a lull in the game, all of a sudden 40, 50-yard bomb to
Shows up.
Pierce. Like we have a joke, with my friend group that watches the Colts games together. We're like, a Pierce bomb's coming here somewhere this year. So,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, that's been really, really cool for him to see, or for me to see from him rather. And I
He was
think
always open the last few years
he
too. Just no one
helped.
could get him the ball.
Yeah, I think we have I think the Colts have a legitimate red zone target jumper, vertical threat type of receiver now with him, and hopefully he continues to, make an even bigger step next year, as he and Anthony Richardson develop that relationship for sure. Uh, and then
I
on
like
the
that.
defensive side,
I like that. I was just
oh,
gonna
go
say I
ahead.
like that pick a lot. I don't even like. I should have considered AP because that's such a good pick, and I went with the other wide receiver. But it's kind of cool to see the different types of wide receivers that we have, because you have like Michael Pittman Jr., who's like just that tough guy that's going to catch contested
Just a
catches. You have
dog.
Josh
Yep.
Downs, just a dog. You have Josh Downs, Mr. Reliable, out of the slot, even though Pittman's pretty reliable too. And then you have the over the top guy that's going to bird you. That's still going to make contested catches 30, 40, 50, 60 yards down the field. And that's Alec Pierce. And then Adonai Mitchell will come to fruition, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But it's just really cool to see that we've got like a combination of these awesome wide receivers that are making this team up, and AR has a lot of different places to go to. So I love that AP pick, man. That was great. That was great.
And I knew it. AP was going to have a better season this year when, I mean, game one, I was in the house, right? In the lad house in Lucas Oil,
Badass.
when when AR hit him for that deep bomb. I mean, wow, what a start to the year. And I feel like he's really followed that with a pretty good performance. There was a stat for a while where he was like top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards with like 30 or
Yes.
40 less catches than everybody
Yes.
else, because his yards per catch was just so high. It was like 20 plus yards per catch or
He leads
some
the league right now.
crazy
It's like
stat stuff.
22.2 or 22.9 or something
Crazy.
like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he's getting his hands on the ball, he's not going to have a ton of catches this year, right? He's not going to have 100 catches, but when he gets his hands on the ball, it's probably going for 20, 25 yards every time
Oh,
at
yeah.
least,
Guaranteed.
minimum.
Guaranteed.
So yeah, that's been fun to see on offense. And on defense, I would share the sentiments on the DB slot. I definitely got to give it up to Jalen Jones for sure. I want to give him another shout out. We've talked about him in a couple episodes now and put a couple clips out there of him. I cannot even believe the growth and the upward trajectory of his career. I remember he was getting, like I said, burnt to a crisp, and I'm sure he knows that, right? The Colts defense knew that as well. They could clearly see it on tape. He was a liability for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks to start the year. But all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. I don't know if he worked on technique or
No benching
if he
needed.
just got a fire under him. He was like, I'm done getting burnt, bro. Like, I'm done being a doormat. I'm going to be a solid corner on this football team, and that is exactly what he's been. He's been the guy, I swear, 3 or 4 times a game now. You see him with a key pass breakup to get the team off the field on a third down, or a big time interception right earlier in the year versus the Bears at home. Whatever it
Huge.
might
He had
be,
two,
it
I
seems like
think.
he had 2 that game, yeah. And so it just seems like he's around the ball now, and he's consistently looking to knock the ball out or knock the ball away, and he's not getting burned over top. So again, claps to
Props to you, man.
claps to
We've
Jalen
shouted you out before.
Jones.
Please watch this. Like, we
We
love you.
have, yeah,
Here,
had to
cultural
give him
plug.
another one because the corner position coming into the season was an area of concern for a lot of Colts fans, and I do feel like at least on one of those corner spots, right? we can feel a lot more comfortable going into next year as long as he
7th round too,
continues
man.
his growth.
Dog.
Yep.
Dog.
Dog. There's no. He's just a dog. He's just a
He's
dog.
just a dog. Jalen, you a dog, bro. We'd love to have you on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
Shout out Jalen.
Shout out Jalen. Speaking of that, so we talked a little bit about, right, the offensive defensive side of the ball, MVPs, who we like. I want to take, and this can be a quick, short segment, but like and we talked about it a little bit last week, but just way too early. What do we need? Like, what are we missing from this team that's going to take our expectations from a B minus, C plus, which is where we were at, to B plus, A minus, A type of season, through the bye week. For me, on both sides of the ball, I'll make it really short and sweet. On the offensive side of the ball, it's pretty simple. It's the tight end position. They've been completely out of the picture, like completely
you
out
don't
of the
say.
picture. Yeah, completely out of the picture through 14 weeks. Now bye week. So it's just, I don't even think I need to speak on that. I think all of Colts Nation knows that we just need a tight end. Defensive side of the ball, it's a little bit trickier because you go a lot of different directions. Julian Blackmon's obviously on a 1-year contract. Like, are we going to retain him, pay him? He hasn't been having the best season, I would say, but
kind of mid, kind of just mediocre,
kind of average right now. Yeah, so maybe we attack that safety position. I know the guy to Georgia, the guy to Notre Dame, they're both studs, and kind of ball hawks. But for me, I think realistically, I'd like to tackle a linebacker position, even though Zaire, EJ, Stewart, Jalen Carlisle, please come back. But like, we love you guys. Like, we love the linebacker core, but get some more coverage linebacker. I think Jalen will come back post injury, and he was like a top 4 coverage linebacker through like 3 games that he played. I know it was minimal snaps, but he was awesome. So having him, pairing him with EJ, pairing him with Zaire, pairing him with another rookie guy that we can get, I think would be ideal. I'm tired of the whole, we're going to hit on guys in like the 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th round, 5th round, let them develop, and then they're going to be good. Like, I just want Ballard, if he's still here, just hit on a couple of guys like in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round that are just going to fill your positions of needs. Like, get an elite level tight end, because there's so many in this draft. The LSU guy just said he's going to go to the NFL draft, committed to the draft. Like, he's a dog too, even if you can get him in like the 3rd, 4th round, probably 4th, 5th, honestly. Tackle the linebacker position early, get one of those big dog safeties in the 1st or 2nd round. Like, I'm happy. Just get some big dogs and then surround them with like 4th, 5th, 6th. But like, get some dogs. First 2, 3 rounds.
I was gonna ask you on the linebacker point that you just made. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Podcast community, check me, because I don't have the pulled up in front of me. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last time the Colts used either a 1st or 2nd round pick on a linebacker, it was Pat Angerer from Iowa. Am I right on that or wrong?
IOWA. I went to Iowa, by the way. But
it might be. That's what I was saying. I was like, I think that might be the last, not like 1st round, 2nd round pick on a linebacker position that I can remember. I could be missing somebody.
No,
I know Okereke was like Okereke. Sorry, I said Okereke. Okereke. He was a 3rd round pick, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was a 1st round. Yeah, he wasn't a 1st round pick.
3rd round. Yeah, I want to say it's been since Pat Angerer. So I would love that, man. If they get a little aggressive there and get just an absolute stud linebacker in the 1st or 2nd round.
Yeah,
because Darius, Darius Leonard was a 2nd round pick, but he was late 2nd round.
Yeah,
it'd be wild if they got a 1st round pick tight end.
Or love to get the guy in Iowa.
Sorry.
I don't think he's going to be a 1st round pick, but like, even if you're going to wait till like the 3rd round, get Jay Higgins out of Iowa. He's a dog. Yeah. He's going to commit to the draft probably this year. I also forgot to mention, I know we said tight ends, but I also want to have a backup running back, because I don't think Trey Sermon, Tyler Goodson, I love you, Tyler Goodson. I think you could be really good, but I still want to get just like a draft, like a 2nd RB2, because JT's going to be 26 years old, going to have some treads on those tires, and then just need like a young guy, young stud. I'm fine with getting Caleb. I know I'm saying Iowa so much. I know, guys, I went to Iowa. I promise I'm not biased. I would love a Caleb Johnson.
Hey, they got talent over there, man. They got talent.
Yeah. Give me Caleb Johnson. Like, I'll take him as an RB2. He's a fucking dog, even though he'll go way too early. But what about you? Where are you sitting at?
So I would go. I mean, obviously, I don't want to harp too much on tight end, because that's pretty obvious. I mean,
yeah.
If the Colts go anywhere other than tight end, I'd be pretty disappointed within those first couple rounds on the offensive side of the ball. I really would. I'd be very disappointed. Um, on the defensive side, I do like I like the linebacker idea as well. I think I love EJ's speed, and I think he is a fantastic leader on the Colts, and I think he is a fantastic special teamer. He's a guy that has really helped us win a lot of games in the last few years, honestly.
Yep.
But I don't know if I'm fully confident that he's an every down starter linebacker in the NFL. I'm just not. I think they need, like you said, they need somebody that is just kind of on that, Darius Leonard level, right? Of game changer, someone who can be in coverage, someone who can consistently cause turnovers, who can be the leader of the defense as well. Just they need a dog, I think at his position that has a different skill set than he does. And
What
so
could
I'd
have been
like
if
them to go
Shaq
there.
wasn't injured, man? What
Oh
could have
no.
been?
Just so disappointed
Miss,
because
dude.
I honestly love EJ, but I think he excels more in a kind of like a backup linebacker role where he comes in, in certain packages and stuff like that. I don't know if he really
Full of
excels in a
energy.
full time starter
Good run
role. He's kind
blocker,
of
or
like
run stopper, but I agree.
yeah, he's kind of like TJ McConnell for the Pacers. He's not going to be your starting point guard, but damn it, he's a great six man. He
Yeah,
will come in and give you
100%.
energy. So that's kind of how I feel about EJ, and I think they should definitely look for another linebacker there pretty early in the draft, and then can always use some help at safety. I think if you are not getting better, or sorry, if you're staying the same, and that same was kind of mid-level or mediocre, I think you have to take a good, honest look at yourself and say, hey, Julian Blackman, we love you. You've done a lot for the Colts, made some big plays, but we might need a better guy back there, right? That can kind of join up with Nick Cross and really lock down
Yeah,
that secondary, and give the young corners some help back there. So, I do love what Julian's done as well, but something tells me he's probably not coming back anyways because he only signed a 1-year deal. And I think there's definitely some talent out there in the draft, like you said, that they could go safety, they could go tight end, they could go linebacker. There's plenty of those in the first 3 rounds this year. So I
yeah,
could see them opting out, unfortunately, from Julian Blackman. But hey,
yeah,
it's a business, You gotta keep getting better, and you gotta upgrade every position that you can.
yeah. 100% agree. I just hope Chris Ballard, if you're still here, tackle these things. Don't hit on a late. I mean, I'd love if you hit on players, but like, don't
We like our
rely on
guys.
hitting on late round guys. Yeah, exactly. We have one more segment for you guys, Colts fans. We just kind of want to talk about realistic outlooks for the next 4 games. Is it realistic for the Colts
Yes.
to make the playoffs? Is it realistic for the Colts to win the division? What does that path look like? And I know, Logan, you got the Colts scheduled pulled up right now. So we have
Yes.
a bye week this week. Next week, guys, you
Mhm.
guys remember Colts Texans from last year, week 18? Yeah, it's going to be like that, but we get it in week 15, and that's Colts versus Broncos at Mile High Stadium.
Yeah.
It
Dang
just
near.
feels like a must win. Like right now, we have a 27% chance of winning. 27% chance of making the playoffs. You
Yep.
lose this, I assume it's going to be another 9-8 season because of the record, the teams that we have coming up after that. Probably a 9-8 season and like a 2% chance of making the playoffs. So like this, literally, take your bye week, get healthy, get rested, but stay laser focused because you don't win this game. I'm sorry, there's no playoffs, and then we
Yeah.
just get to see air develop, which is fine, but playoffs would be nice.
Yeah. What a tough task as well to go into
Yeah,
Denver right now and take on just a blazing hot, I would say, Denver Broncos team. Blazing hot. I mean, you
yeah,
got Bo Nix who has come out of nowhere and basically said, "Hey, who's Jaden Daniels? I'm going to be the rookie of the year," right? I mean, like
yeah, right.
it's crazy. Like he has made a late run for staking his claim as rookie of the year on that side. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I understand that, famous Jameis tore them up a little bit, passing the football. But hey, that's a serious defense over there,
The top 5
especially
defense.
with Patrick Surtain locking anybody and everybody up that's on his side of the ball. And then when they're fully healthy, when they have Moss out there, like you said, they've got
Their
what's
pass rush.
Bonata, the defensive
I thought it was
end.
like Bonito,
Dude's
yeah,
a
or something like
yeah,
that.
Bonita. I said Bonata, Bonita,
Something like
yeah,
that.
or something. But dude's a
He's a
dog.
dog.
Dude is an
10 and a half
absolute dog. I'm
sacks.
sure. I'm sure we will know his name soon enough because he'll be on the top 100. Uh, this year for sure. The next top 100 list. So
Is he a rookie?
yeah,
I think he's a rookie,
I
right?
think he's like young. I think he's might be like second or third year, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong. He's
he's
just kind of
young,
come out of
bro.
nowhere. It seems.
He's a
Yeah,
dog. We were watching him play. And he has probably like 10 and a half, 11 sacks on the season already. And it's week 15
he's got
the next
11
time he
sacks now.
plays.
Yeah,
11
yeah,
sacks. Like,
11
easy
sacks.
came out of nowhere. Good for them.
It's tough, man. If I had to lean one way, we'll dive more into the Broncos game. We won't have a episode on Monday, this coming Monday because of the bye week, but we will have a longer one on Thursday, and we'll really dive deep on the Broncos and give a nice
Hmm.
preview. If I had to give a quick though, just sort of leaning, I hate it. I really hate it, but I don't think the Colts win this game. I think the Broncos they're really good right now, man. I think they're peaking at the right time and they're starting to believe in themselves. And it's very scary when a young team gets hot and they start believing in themselves and they got talent. That's a crazy combo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you give Shane Steichen an extra week, anything's possible. I'm more so
Yeah,
leaning towards the Colts actually upsetting the Broncos and winning this. I think they know what's at stake. They know the rest of the season is
would be
really,
amazing.
yeah, the rest of the season is kind of washed in regards to playoffs if you don't win this game.
Yeah,
Except for the outside chance that Houston messes up and loses a bunch of games. I know their linebacker is out for a couple of games, for 3 games or so. But looking at the Houston
yeah,
Texans schedule, like they play the Dolphins next week.
yeah,
And that's kind of a lose-lose for the Colts because if the Texans win, like obviously you're probably not going to win the division. If the Dolphins win and you lose, like they're going to take your spot as the 8th seed, basically one step closer, even though you hold
yeah,
the tiebreaker. But then the Texans have, if I'm looking at it correctly, the Texans have 3 games in 10 days, which is a good plus for the Colts. They've got the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and that's a 3-game stretch, and then they've got the Titans. And so I don't know if they're
they could lose
overlooking.
out.
Yeah,
They could
maybe
lose
they're
out.
overlooking the Dolphins, and they're just like, we got the boys, we got the Chiefs coming in, and the Ravens. Like this could be a kind of a trap game, and if it is, the Dolphins win. Colts, you need to win because 1, the Dolphins are going to kick you out of any chance, and 2, another missed opportunity where you could have won this week and the Texans would have lost. And that's happened like 2 or 3 times now where the Colts just have not capitalized. They've lost
Yeah,
in the same exact weeks. So it's a chance, man. Like there's a chance if you win out Colts and the Texans lose 2 or 3 of those 4, you could win the division. And it's happened the last 3 years, the last 2 years, where someone's come from behind the AFC South and won the division. Most recently being the Jaguars collapse and the Texans winning last
Te-
year, beating the Colts.
Texans are sitting at 8-5 right now. Is that right?
Um, I believe
I
so.
believe
Yes.
they're 8-5.
I'm
Yeah.
looking right now. The Colts are 8-5. Or sorry, the Texans are 8-5. Wish I could say the Colts are,
Okay.
but
I
yes,
was gonna say because they would at that point. You're right. They would have to lose 3 of those 4 because
still
if they
possible.
tied the Colts record wise, they would own the tiebreaker because of the obviously the sweeping there. So
Yeah,
still possible. Yeah, they could lose 3 out of 4 of those. Wow,
yeah.
it could get interesting around here.
And it's not like
It could get
completely out of the
interesting and
picture.
spicy.
Oh, it
Yeah.
could be. And it's not like completely out of the picture that, the Colts lose this game and then they won't make the playoffs because look at the Broncos schedule. Like, that's tough too. They got the Colts obviously next week. Then you got the Chargers. They're going away at the Chargers, away at
Yeah.
the Bengals, and then back at home against the Chiefs. And let's see if the Chiefs have secured that number 1 seed. The Bills are pretty close behind them, but I mean, the Chargers are no easy task. I know Lad McConkey's dealing with some stuff. J.K. Dobbins is going to be out, but that's a good defense. That's going to be a really good game. Broncos Chargers, Broncos Bengals. I
Hmm.
hope the Bengals have something to play for. Please, like just play to play, because that could be an upset.
Yeah.
Um, and then we obviously got the Chiefs. So it's not like we're kind of coming up on our outside of the Broncos easy part of the schedule. I know you have it pulled up if you want to share what that looks like.
I was gonna say real quick because I know we're getting close to time here, but I'm gonna kind of give our last 4 here, and just give me your prediction of how you think Colts finish, and we'll kind of go rapid fire. So you got Colts at Broncos. Obviously, what do you got there?
I'm somehow, some way, Colts fandom. We're taking the Colts. They're gonna find a way.
Okay. You heard it here. You heard it here first, guys. Put the mortgage on the Colts.
On the Colts. What are you taking? You're taking Broncos, right?
Yeah, I'm taking Broncos there. And then we got Titans at Colts.
Titans are playing good ball right now. Will Levis is playing good ball, but give me the Colts.
Yeah, at home, I'll take the Colts too. Colts at Giants.
Brutal, man. I mean, it could go any way, but looks like they're probably going to have Drew Lock. Malik Neighbors is going to be an issue. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be an issue. Theo Johnson out on IR. I'm still going to take – the Colts can't lose that game, right? You can't lose that game.
I'll go Colts there too. Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence, I'll add. He is officially on IR, so he's done for the year. So Jaguars at Colts to end it out in Lucas Oil.
Dude, need I say the Colts lose this one? Like to Mac Jones?
Don't you do it, Ati.
Brian Thomas. It sounds weird. I can't say the Colts go 4-0, right? I can't say that because we know realistically, Colts fans, that's not going to happen, right?
That's why I gave us the Denver L, honestly. I had to give an L somewhere, and I was like, I would be sick if the Colts have it right there in front of them to go 10-7 and they lose the Jags.
Man.
It won't look good for the rest of the week for me there.
If we are 9-7, playoff berth on the line, I'm going to that game. Like 100%, I'm going to buy a ticket. So Colts win out.
We'll meet up.
We should go. We should meet up then.
We'll go.
Yeah, 100%.
So what you got? Like gun to the head.
Worst case 9-8. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna say Colts, and I'm gonna be, dude. I promise you guys, it's not the Colts fandom. Like I really think like this is so favorable as long as you beat the Broncos. I'm gonna say the Colts finish 10-7 and make the playoffs.
Okay,
I might regret saying that.
Definitely possible. It's not impossible. We've seen it in years past with other Colts teams. So it's definitely possible. I'm gonna go 9-8. Like I said, I think Denver is just a little bit too much of a task. Going into Denver is no small task. Yeah, powerhouse. I think the Broncos are just peaking at the right time, man. It's totally a real thing to peak and play your best ball near the playoffs. When teams do that, they're hard to beat. They really are. And then especially with them being at home as well, Denver's already, as we all know, a very difficult place to play, regardless. So
altitude and everything.
I think the Colts drop it, but hey, anything's possible. Any given Sunday.
I will say there's so much I want to say about the Colts Broncos, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till next Thursday to say that. Extensive
preview of the Colts Broncos. So yeah,
100%. Colts fans, that's it for us for episode 10. Like I said, come join us. We'll be live a week from now. We're not going to have an episode on Monday just because of the bye week. There's really nothing to debrief, but we'll have a longer episode, 45 to an hour, to talk about the preview for the Colts Broncos, basically a playoff game at Mile High Stadium. We appreciate all the support. We've been seeing all the love on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. So appreciate all the support. We're looking to grow with you guys. So really, really from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. With that, we'll leave it. Enjoy your bye weeks, guys. Get right, get healthy, just like the Colts, and we'll catch you in a week.